Hello, today I'll be reviewing the new album from Godsmack, Lighting Up the Sky, and this is the follow-up to their album When Legends Rise, which for me, easily their worst album. With that said, there is some songs that I do like from that album, but it's an album that just doesn't have the strongest replay value for me, and again, easily their weakest. Now, if we're talking favorites from the band, the first three albums are definitely at the top for me. The self-titled, Awake, and Faceless. Faceless probably being at the top for me when it comes to Godsmack. Definitely a really great album, but let's go ahead and dive into this album here. The album starts off with You and I, which was the second single, and probably one of my favorites on the album. And maybe my favorite of the singles also, but I really dig the main riff. I also dig the chorus, which is definitely one of those choruses that you can sing along to. And you also have a fairly solid solo later in the song too, but overall, fairly good way to open up the album. Definitely one of the highlights on the album. But then we're moving to Red, White, and Blue, which is probably another favorite of mine on the album. Fairly upbeat, hard rocking song that I'm personally really digging, and also has probably one of my favorite choruses on the album. But then we're moving to Surrender, and this was the first single, and my thoughts on the song haven't really changed all that much since my review of Surrender, and yeah, I think the song is alright. I do think it has a fairly strong chorus though. I think the chorus is definitely really good and probably the strongest part of the song for me personally. But it's just a song that I just don't find myself returning to all that much, at least compared to the other singles, or especially You and I. But yeah, again, Surrender, a decent song, but probably not going to be one of my favorites on here, but again, not a bad song. But then we'll be moving to What About Me, and this song pretty much continues what we've been hearing so far in the album in terms of the overall sound and vibe. And this song didn't really do a whole lot to really stand out to me within the track list. A decent song, but again, not a standout for me personally, but not a bad song. Then we're moving to the song Truth, and this song is on the more melodic side of things, and you also get some piano in this song. Then you also have the chorus where you get this orchestral touch to it, which overall found to be kind of interesting, an interesting addition to the song, interesting touch. And also, when it comes to the lyrics, it sounds like this song could lyrically maybe be about dealing with heartbreak or betrayal within a relationship. And overall, an okay song. But then we have Hell's Not Dead, and this is another song on the album for me that might have one of the strongest choruses on the album for me. And another fairly rocking song on here. I probably like Red, White, and Blue maybe a tad more, but Hell's Not Dead, fairly good, another fairly good song on the album. But then we're moving to Soul on Fire, which is a song that I can see going fairly well live. Definitely has that anthemic feel to it, especially with the chorus, which is maybe one of those choruses that you can also sing along to, kind of like with You and I. And also, I think the song might have one of the strongest solos on the album too. But yeah, Soul on Fire, fairly catchy song all around. But then we'll be moving to Let's Go, and this song opens up with these riffs that kind of feel Sabbathy a little bit, which I did not expect, and also found to be kind of cool. I am a Sabbath fan, but I also dig the riffs that carry the verses. But then we move to the chorus, which for me, this song to me has one of the weaker choruses on the album. Again, that's just my personal opinion. If you disagree, it's all good, but Let's Go, overall, a decent song. Probably not one of my favorites on the album, but I do like the song. Then we'll be moving to Best of Times, and I heard that this song is pretty much a thank you to all the fans and to everyone who supported the band all these years. And with that said, I kind of like with What About Me, this is another song on the album for me that didn't really do much to really stick with me or stand out within the track list. Not terrible, but for me, maybe one of the weaker songs on here. But of course, my thoughts on that could change at any time. But next we're moving to another song on the album for me that's one of the weaker songs on the album. But with that said, might have one of Sully's best vocal performances on the album. I really like Sully's vocals in Growing Old, but the music behind them doesn't really grip me all that much. I mean, not bad, but I just don't find the music behind them all that interesting. But this might be a song that I might have to give more listens to, and maybe the song will grow on me. But as of now, for me, one of my least favorites on the album. But again, pretty solid vocal performance from Sully though in this song. But then now we'll be moving on to the album closer, the title track, "Lighting Up the Sky," which is probably another favorite of mine on the album. This song is actually pretty damn good. I really dig the chorus especially, and I mean, maybe a song that might not bring a whole lot new to the table in terms of what the album has offered already, but still, for me, one of the more memorable, one of the more stronger songs on the album, and overall, fairly solid way to close off the album. And I can see this song maybe being one of the favorites on here for some fans. I don't know, we'll see, but either way, the title track overall, actually pretty good. But now, let's go ahead and move to my rating. If I were to rate this album, I'd probably give it, I don't know, I'm currently jumping between a 6.75 to a 7. I'd probably say a 7 out of 10. I would say that this album is a step up from the previous album, When Legends Rise, but at the same time, I don't see myself ranking this album up there with some of my favorites from the band, and it doesn't have to either. It doesn't have to be the strongest work to be considered great or anything like that, but still, overall, a decent album. It's not. It probably won't rank as one of my favorites of the year or anything like that, and it doesn't have to, but still, a decent album, a good album, I'd say. Not great or amazing or anything like that, but still a fairly good album. And again, gonna have to go with a 7 out of 10. But anyways, let me know your thoughts on this album. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let me know some of your favorite or least favorite songs on here and all the good stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment and a like, subscribe. Have a nice day and take care.